This episode of the Lifted to Life by Dana B podcast is brought to you by Neurogum. Hello, you are listening to the Lifted to Life by Dana B podcast. I am Dana B. I thank you for listening. This podcast is not just about self-care, it's about discovering your authentic self. Unplug from social media. Your brain cells will thank you. And that is the title of today's episode. So after waking up one morning, I tapped into the TikTok app and I went to look at a post that I had done a few days ago. And there were quite a few racist comments made under that post. And immediately I felt my blood boiling. As I began to type a response to one of the comments made, I could feel my heart begin to beat faster. My heart was racing as I began to type a response to that racist comment that was left. And then all of a sudden I heard a voice say, "Do not respond. Don't do it." That voice also said, "Delete the app off the phone. Delete it." So I didn't respond and I deleted TikTok off my phone. There is real evidence of what social media does to your body and to your brain. I was noticing how I was lacking zeal, ambition, and pursuing the things that I enjoy doing. Scrolling through social media is very similar to having your brain dumping. Within a few minutes, when you scroll, one picks up so much information that all the emotions are felt in that 1 minute. You're laughing at animals, smiling at babies, political ideologies along with racist rhetoric cause anger. All these emotions activated within minutes. At my church, during the beginning of a new year, we are encouraged to fast for 40 days. And during that fast, you either do the Daniel fast where you just eat at certain times of the day, but you don't eat any meats. You just eat vegetables and broth, and you drink water. You also fast from spending money. You fast from social media. And I do this every year for 40 days. And what I've noticed is that every time I do the 40-day fast, I'm tapped in to what God is doing in my life and in the space that I'm operating in. I'm not being distracted by social media and the things that are posted by friends, family, celebrities. I'm tapped in to my purpose. I'm tapped into being productive. And every year I choose social media and I also choose soda. And during that fast, I'm focused. My mind is clear. I'm focused on my work. I'm focused on putting my gifts to use. And I noticed that once I return to social media after the fast is over, I'm less focused and I'm less productive. Have you ever noticed that when you go on any of your social media platforms, they all have the exact same things, the exact same videos, the exact same TikToks, the exact same things that you see on TikTok, you see on Instagram, you see on Facebook. People will send me TikToks and I'll say to them, "Oh, I saw this already." It's almost like they're feeding into each other. Of course, we know that. We know that IG feeds into Facebook, and you can feed your TikToks into your Instagram. So they all show the exact same thing. It's like watching a bad sitcom in syndication, reruns, if you will. They all share the same thing. TikTok was created for fun. It was created to show fun dancing, videos, DIY projects, food recipes, and other fun things. But now TikTok has become such a space that is no longer fun anymore. the political ideologies, the constant videos of forms of police brutality, people losing their jobs, videos of homeless, videos of people who are fighting, people in war-torn countries. It's no longer fun anymore. It's lost the premise that it was once created for many, many years ago. I think this when it came out during the pandemic, and it's no longer fun. Studies have shown that social media has an impact on our mental health. And these are just a few things that I found during my research as I was getting this podcast together. You ever hit that 2 p.m., 3 p.m. slump when you're in the office and you need something that's going to give you a boost to push you to the end of the workday? You don't want to get a soda and you don't want to get chocolate. Well, for me, I reached for NeuroGum. NeuroGum has 100 milligrams of natural caffeine and brain-supporting B vitamins for maximum energy and focus. You can find the link to purchase in the show's bio. Some of the effects that social media has is anxiety and depression. Studies suggest a correlation between social media use and increased rates of anxiety and depression, particularly among young adults. Social comparison, cyberbullying, and the pressure to maintain a perfect online persona contribute to these feelings. Absolutely. With the young ladies and fellas who don't understand that they were created to be beautiful in their own right, but busy comparing themselves to the likes of Kylie Jenner and Amber Rose, Kim Kardashian, and not understanding. And then some of them going to get these illegal butt shots and this cosmetic surgery done and can't afford to get it reversed, but do so many things to their bodies, creating more harm than good. It also, again, creates body image issues. Social media can negatively impact body image, leading to self-esteem issues as users compare themselves to idolized images. Like I said before, wanting to have that Coca-Cola body like Kim Kardashian, wanting to have those full lips and wanting to have those wide eyes, those deer or doe eyes. I remember it was Julie Chen who got her eyes done because someone in her line of work said that she wouldn't be able to make it with those eyes, the eyes that she was born with. She's an Asian woman, the eyes that she was born with. So she got her eyes done. And so now you see these women going out to get these BBLs because they want to have their behinds in a heart shaped. I remember I went to a party many years ago when this young lady had gotten her behind done. She got a BBL. And she literally had her behind done in the shape of a heart. Can you believe that? In the shape of a heart. Getting these breast implants done. Not being able to carry the number of cc's that they put into your breast. Not being able to carry them, having back problems. And then you get a BBL and you're having these knee problems. Like, they don't think about the long run. What happens in the long run when you get these procedures done? Social media also leads to social isolation and loneliness. Excessive social media use can lead to social isolation and feeling of loneliness as users spend more time online than interacting with people in person. I have a cousin who is always online, constantly online. He does not have an active social life whatsoever at all because he's constantly on Instagram, constantly on Facebook. He has no real relationships with people because he's always online. Social media usage can lead to sleep disturbances. Late night social media can disrupt sleep patterns, affecting both mental and physical health. That I can totally agree with. I've noticed that when I would be on social media late at night and just before my bedtime, and watching TikToks or watching whatever I see on IG and not being able to sleep that night because my mind is on a loop. My mind is on scrolling and I'm thinking about that TikTok I saw, or I'm thinking about something that I saw on IG, and I can't sleep. So the next morning, when I do finally get some sleep, I wake up groggy and I wake up tired. Social media is an addiction. Social media platforms are designed to be addictive, with features like infinite scrolling and notifications designed to keep users engaged. That is the truth. It's so wild how when you pick up your phone, or now, and this is an example of myself, I would pick up my phone and, for instance, if I wanted to go to, let's say, my Sephora app that's on my phone, and I would end up clicking my TikTok app. Two totally different applications. And then I would catch myself like, wait, why am I clicking on? Because my thumb was used to going to the TikTok app. To that point, and it became an addiction. It became an addiction that I would roll over, and that's the first thing that I would tap on in the morning. It would be the first thing that would kind of put me to sleep at night, scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. It would be the thing that I would do throughout my workday versus being productive in my everyday work life. I'm on social media. Addictive. Bad. Other negative impacts are cyberbullying. Social media platforms can be breeding grounds for cyberbullying, where individuals are harassed and tormented online. We've seen a number of documentaries. We've seen kids who have been cyberbullied, and some of them have sadly taken their own lives because of that. And I have often had to tell myself, I don't know these people. And that's why I didn't comment to that racist comment that was made under my post a few days ago. I don't know these people, and they don't know me. They're behind their keyboards. I call them thumb thugs or keyboard bandits because they're behind their keyboard anonymously. I don't know these people. So therefore, what's the point of responding? What's the point of saying anything back to them? To go back and forth with a stranger, someone I may never ever see in person? Yeah. The other negative impact is privacy concerns. Social media platforms called vast amounts of user data, raising concerns about privacy and the potential for misuse of information. Yeah. The dark web exists. Your information gets leaked to the dark web. You ever get those phone calls from people that say, hey, you took out a loan? I'm constantly getting a phone call from this company saying that I took out a loan in 2019. You're a lie. I never took out a loan in 2019. Well, aren't you? And they say my name. I'm like, yes. Isn't the last 4 digits of your social? And the first thing I say to them is, well, send me something in the mail. We've sent you letters in the mail. No, you haven't. And then they hang up. Privacy concerns. Misinformation. Social media can be a vector for the spread of misinformation and fake news, which can have serious consequences. Oh boy. Wow. That in itself is so true. I have seen so much misinformation online when it comes to really everything. Political, celebrity, everything. And then people spew this information and they have no facts to back it up. One of the things that I tell people, when in doubt, go to TMZ. Because TMZ will get the facts. They will find the dirt. Go to a reputable source. AP News, the Associated Press, reputable. PBS NewsHour, reputable. Utilize those resources. Steer clear of the CNN, the Fox News, the MSN, all of those. Associated Press and PBS NewsHour are those press releases that have the actual facts. Another impact that social media has is fear of missing out, FOMO. The constant exposure of what others are doing can lead to FOMO, causing anxiety and stress. I had to have a conversation with my daughter a while back. She's no longer on social media, thank goodness, because she was always looking at what former classmates were doing as far as them getting married, having kids. And I told her, I said, you don't know. It's just a picture, first and foremost. And that picture doesn't really say much. See, you look at that photo and you see a happy marriage and happy kids, but you don't know what that person is dealing with after that picture was taken or before that picture was taken. They could be miserable, they could be depressed, but for you, the person that's viewing that photo, they look like they have it all together, and they don't. That she'll look at pictures of people who are on trips and she'll have that FOMO. Ma'am, you don't know what that individual is doing or how they got that trip. You don't know. Might have been something that they've been saving up for years to do, and they finally got to do it. There's no need to have that fear of missing out. The impact of social media reduces focus and productivity. Excessive social media use can lead to reduced focus and decreased productivity in various aspects of your life. Amen. I noticed that when I would be at work and I would get on social media, my workload would be ignored. And at the end of the day, I'm rushing to get things done and making mistakes in the work that I have to submit. I'm not paying attention to the gifts that have been provided to me or given to me or I've been blessed with. I'm not paying attention to putting in the work to make this podcast a success. I noticed that when I first started this podcast, for 2 weeks, I was off of social media and I was so productive. So productive, doing my research, responding to people in their emails, and tuned in, tapping in to making sure that I get this podcast out. But then when I would log onto social media, that social media and scrolling would impact my productivity. And I was not putting my best foot forward when it came to recording this podcast. And that's another reason why I had to delete and back away and tap out and unplug from social media. Social media has become a space for people who are either desperate for the currency of likes, views, and comments. Young and older women scantily clad just to get a snippet of attention to go viral. People saying outlandish things for shock value to go viral. People flexing their wealth and then later on become a topic of a documentary and arrested for money laundering. Political ideologies and false narratives to create and stoke fear and anxiety. I had to unplug for my mental health reasons. I wasn't focused on the things that were deemed productive. I needed to silence the noise. In the words of Kendrick Lamar, turn the TV off. And yes, that includes social media. So in conclusion, while social media can offer benefits, it's crucial to be aware of its political negative impacts on your mental health, your privacy, and overall well-being. Being mindful of the usage of how much time you spend on social media. You know, your phone has a way to give you a weekly summary of the different apps that you frequent and how long you've been on those apps. I remember getting a weekly summary and it told me that I was spending like almost 2 hours on social media. Why am I spending that much time on social media? Do you know what I could be doing within those 2 hours? So this week, I want you to focus on several things. First, I want you to make a list of 5 things that feed you and 5 things that bleed you. My second challenge to you is I want you to stay off social media for the next 5 days and utilize that time to focus on your hobbies, any type of community service, family, and friends. And I want you to watch what happens as you back away from social media and how your mind will become decluttered. You'll begin to see and feel a big difference in your life. You'll feel a big difference in your emotions when you're not tapped into the things that social media the negativity that social media continues to spew. You will see a big difference. Before I end today's episode, I want to read an excerpt from the book Deep is the Hunger by Howard Thurman. And it simply says, live life seriously. It is a mistake to take it seriously. And that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. I ask that you like, share, and review this podcast. Email me at liftedtolife@gmail.com, and I'll see you next week.